Assalamu alaikum and welcome to the Legends of Takaful, a podcast series proudly put together by actuarial partners celebrating 40 years of Takaful in Malaysia. So, who is a legend? It's easy to look back and see who is a legend, as hindsight is 2020. But what about the current leaders in Takaful? Who will be the legends of tomorrow? In this series, we'll sit down and have a conversation with pioneers and founders of Takaful in Malaysia. People who truly shaped the industry, going beyond the numbers and finding out what really inspired them, their challenges and struggles, as well as their insights. We truly hope that this will both help drive Takaful forward for the next 40 years, as well as assist countries in just starting out with Takaful. In the first 10 years of Takaful, there was only one operator, Shariah Takaful Malaysia, or STM. Anyone entering the STM office during those days knew things were done differently. The first time I went to a meeting with the CEO there, Dato' Fazli, I even remember having to take my shoes off at the entrance of the floor. They had a monopoly at that time, and they focused on establishing a presence, rather than having the cheapest rates and fierce competition. Back then, the loss ratios for motor business were noticeably better than conventional insurance, which was surprising due to the small size of STM, and the need to be large and strong enough to control the workshops. STM used Bank Islam branches as the main distribution source. The second entrant was Takaful National, or TN, the Takaful operations of the national insurer MNI. TN is now Etika and focused on agency force distribution during those days. Those days we had heavy debates on whether it was acceptable to have agents selling Takaful, promoting actually, as how the model would work, as until that point we used a Mudaraba model, with the operator paying most expenses out of surplus sharing, which occurs at the end of the year. Several years later, Maybank obtained a Takaful license, and TN eventually combined with Maybank Takaful to give rise to Etika, which had a full lineup of agency and bancassurance distribution channels for Takaful, as well as conventional insurance. During the same time, the first retakaful operator in Malaysia started, ARIL. So whereas the first operator relied on bank branches, and the second operator relied on its existing agency force infrastructure, Takaful Ikhlas, starting 10 years after TN, had to start from scratch. This led the CEO, Dato' Said Mohib, to drive a number of innovative solutions, including bringing the Wakala model over from the Middle East. This represents roughly the halfway point so far of the Takaful journey in Malaysia. Several years later, the era of the multinationals in Takaful began, with a range of global insurers and reinsurers recognizing the potential of this market. Prudential in particular brought synergy to its products, creating Takaful equivalents of its conventional insurance products, especially unit-linked plans. This was also the time that Bank Negara really strengthened the regulatory focus on Takaful through JPIT. Regulations were held fairly consistent between Takaful and conventional insurance, with the goal of creating a level playing field. Today, Takaful is at a crossroads in Malaysia. Although we've come a long way, we still have a long way to go to rival conventional insurance in Malaysia. Will Takaful focus on consistency with conventional insurance? Or will there be increasing innovation in the models used as well as market segments focused on? Will we be able to use Takaful to increase insurance penetration in Malaysia, especially underserved markets? Insurance in any form is about managing risks and building trust. Takaful can truly be key in many market segments in building this trust and forming the foundation of a population that understands its risks and how to manage them. This is the foundation of true financial literacy, which must be a goal for the next 40 years. Actuarial Partners has been involved since the beginning of Takaful in Malaysia and has been involved in some way with all the Takaful operators here. We truly hope that this podcast series is useful and the next 40 years of Takaful development is equally exciting. Malaysia boleh.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Welcome to the fourth episode of the series Legends of Takaful. The series aimed to celebrate the individuals who have contributed to the development of Takaful. 2024, as you know, marks the 40th anniversary of the establishment of the first Takaful company operator in Malaysia. Today we welcome Dr. Wan Zamri Wan Ismail. Wan, welcome, and firstly, thank you for making time to join me in this podcast.
Thank you for inviting me. My pleasure.
Thank you. Can you start by telling us your journey to Takaful? You are from the state of Kelantan, where over 95% of its population are Muslims, and it's one of the least developed states in the peninsular Malaysia. What were the challenges you faced in your journey to Takaful?
Thank you. Let me go a little bit back further. When I entered college in UITM, I registered for the banking course because insurance is alien to many of us. Okay,
This was what, in
the 84, 85, something like that, and then around that period. No, 74, 75, around that.
Yeah, 74, 75.
74,
And
75.
your university, UITM at the point in time was just ITM. Right?
ITM.
The Institute of Technology
Institute
Mara.
of Technology Mara. So I registered for the banking course. So 3 months after joining the course, the dean, the late, what is called this, Saleh Majid, Tan Sri Saleh Majid, former Bursa, I think, of
Yes.
GM of Bursa, Malaysia.
Yes.
He came to our class and he randomly picked. He showed, okay, you, I think about 7 or 8 of us, go and do insurance. So I was the one who was randomly picked to do insurance. I said, why do you pick me? I don't know anything about insurance. Go. So that's how I managed to, I started my insurance, training, by randomly chosen by the dean to do insurance without knowing anything about it.
So it was initially Islamic finance course,
No, there's no Islamic finance at the time, only just banking.
or just pure
Just
banking?
pure banking.
All
Diploma
right.
in banking, something like that.
So he came and said,
came and
you
said, go and do
do
insurance.
insurance.
Go and do insurance.
Just insurance.
Just insurance.
There's no takaful at
No
one time.
takaful yet at that time.
Okay.
So we studied. So that's how actually we started without knowing anything about insurance. So when I came back to my village during the school holidays, what are you doing in the ITM? Insurance. I said, what are you doing? Insurance is not it's not something that is known. It's not something that is popular. It is not something that is sought for. They will always ask me when I go back home, what are you doing? What are you going after this? Are you going to work in the government or are you going to be in the private sector?
Yes.
So I said, insurance have to be in the private sector. So they say, it's quite,
It was not a thing
was
at
not
that
the
point in
thing at that time.
What people wanted to do at that point in time was work for government.
Be in the government. So I was the last choice, maybe to be chosen as a son-in-law or something, because they were adding. Are you working in the government or the private sector after this? Private sector most probably, because there's no job opportunity for insurance in the government sector. Okay, so that's where I started my insurance training, and then I landed my first job after college, after doing the insurance course, in a company called Maybank Phoenix. It's a joint venture between Maybank and Phoenix Assurance of UK. Maybank Phoenix Assurance. So it was a general insurance outfit. So I was, appointed as a junior executive, doing claims, marine claims. My former boss, who taught me my first boss in insurance was Kasim Zakaria. If you know him,
Kasim,
he was my first boss. I worked under his nose. Basically, he was the AGM claims. So I was junior executive claims, answer director to Kasim Zakaria. So that's where I started my insurance, journey and then
This was 1978.
1979, 80, something like that.
Yeah.
Okay, and then I moved to another company. It's called Trust International Insurance. That company was headed by Encik Subri Abdullah. Encik Subri was actually during Maybank time, he was the AGM. He just came back from the UK. The Maybank Group managed to fish him out of UK to bring him back home as a qualified insurer. And then he left Maybank and to start up a Trust International. Trust International used to be Amanah South British Insurance. It's an old company now. So he called me up, say, Wan, come and join me. So off I went to Trust International. But it was not long. Because I got another good offer to go to MNRB.
So that's Malaysian National
Malaysian National
Re.
Re. Yeah. So I left and I joined Malaysian Re. Again, now most of the time I was doing claims. I was doing retrocession claims, voluntary cession claims, all those fat claims, all the claims, all the types of claims for my direct boss was Anwar Hassan. Yeah, Anwar Hassan.
All familiar names.
Yeah, so I report directly to him. Okay, Anwar Hassan. And then in 1986, there was an opportunity for Takaful Malaysia was set up. So, coming from Kelantan, when I go home during my holidays, I say, where do you work? Insurance company. So, coming from a quite, what do you call this, conservative, Muslim conservative society, they disdain upon insurance. Say, why do you work there? It's haram. So I think what to do? I have to explain to them that insurance is necessity. We don't have people yet. We don't have alternative yet. So it's a necessity. So but he said, go and get some job somewhere else. Okay. So in 1986, when the opportunity came, when Takaful set up, I applied. I was not the first batch. The first group was about. They started, I think, in April or something like that. I joined in August or September. I was the second group of executives, middle executives, to join Datuk Fazli in Takaful. So I think he already had in mind that since I was from Kelantan, I was earmarked to be transferred to go back to Kelantan as the branch manager. So after staying, I think about 3 months or 4 months, just to familiarize myself with all these Takaful things, the concepts and everything. I was shipped out back to Kelantan as the branch manager. At that time, there were the first 2 branches. One is in Kelantan, the other was in Terengganu. So 2 of us, we set up the first 2 branches for Syarikat Takaful Malaysia.
So that was your first assignment with Takaful Malaysia.
Yes.
Datuk Fazli sort of picked on the fact that you are from the state of Kelantan.
Yeah.
And sort of said, okay, go to Kota Baru and set up the first branch there. What were the challenges you faced in that role? Because as you mentioned just now, insurance is very alien for the community. They see it's haram. Now there is this new thing called Takaful. Basically, you are now manager of the branch. What were the challenges trying to actually introduce people to this new concept of Takaful?
So there are two challenges. One is the high illiteracy on insurance. Number 2, of course, high illiteracy in Takaful. They don't know insurance. What more Takaful? Yeah. So when I go out to propagate Takaful, I have to explain to them first what is insurance. And how is going to? Why are we here? Why are we doing Takaful? Because of certain things in the insurance contract that doesn't meet the requirements of Islamic law. And then most of the products, even though there are some information on insurance, it's only motor insurance. Family or life insurance is largely unknown. It's largely what more other products to the general public? I remember the term used when I was back home. The term insurance I still remember is they put coin together insurance and road tax. They call it quarter, because those days road tax was paid quarterly. So they coin together insurance and road tax as quarter. So in Kelantan language lah, kena pergi ambil kuota. It means that they know that they have to take the third-party insurance and the quarterly road tax. So it's not as quarter. So the word insurance is not really. So
basically, to some extent, because in Malaysia, of course, in order for you to have a motor vehicle, you need to actually pay your road tax.
Yes.
In order for you to actually get your road tax, you need to have insurance.
Yes.
And the minimum form of insurance that you need to have is third-party insurance. So they tend to put it together. So that basically they don't really see it as insurance.
Yes.
It's just like a package.
Yes, a package.
So in that sense, insurance is invisible to them.
Invisible to them. They call it, they want to take the quarter. They don't even call road tax, they call it quarter.
Quarter. But then quarter is in the English language.
It's English language. So they call quarter. So quarter in Kelantan slang.
Quarter.
Kita nak ambil quarter. So so they know this package already. So they know it's relatively alien, the concept of insurance. So we have to really, it was new in Malaysia. It was also very new in Kelantan, of course. One of the first things, my job when I went back to Kelantan was to go and see the Mufti of Kelantan. Because as I explained earlier to Fazli, the shareholders were all Majlis Ulama Islam, religious councils of Malaysia. So Kelantan is one of the shareholders, Majlis Ulama. So as a courtesy visit, I visited the Mufti of Kelantan and tell him that I'm from Takaful Group. I say, oh yeah. So we are your shareholder. We're very happy to be shareholder. And he said, Wan, you know all these terms that you are mentioning about, mudarabah, wakala, tabarruk, they're all in our classical text. Kitab Kuning.
Classical Islamic text.
Classical Islamic text. It's all in our Kitab Kuning. They're all there. But it's up to you, professionals, who's going to dig this up and apply all these principles that are now mostly in the classical religious text that we read, and without basically able to practice it. Mudarabah, musyarakah, wakala, tabarruk, all these things. So basically say it's up to you, professionals, how to dig this up again and apply all these principles. They are already in our culture, in our worldview, in Islamic worldview. It's already there. So that gave me a big boost of what do you call this, of confidence to move this. So we went around. I really went around. Sometimes we were asked to become khatib. Sometimes we are kena bagi tazkirah we have to give. So they thought that when they saw that we are takaful, they always equate us with as a religious organization. So those who work in takaful should be basically have a status of some sort of religious credentials, who can give tazkirah, who can even give khutbah. So it's high expectation of us to do that. So we were forced sometimes to do that. We have to learn some of those things. And it was basically a learning process for me and also for the public. So we were given full access. We want to go to masjid. We want to go to schools. We want to go to what do you call this? To the villages. We are granted full access.
This is very important because of the fact that but I think I go back to what you said just now, that effectively they tend to see takaful as to some extent part of the, can I use the word dakwah in the sense that trying to promote Islam.
Yes.
So from that perspective, I think there is a plus and a minus. A plus being that accessibility, because you mentioned that you have access to the mosques, access to the schools.
Yes.
Because to go to these institutions, you need to have the permission of the government, of course. But perhaps as well, so-called minus is the fact that maybe expectations are set too high because takaful is also a business. Say. Were there any? Because this, as you said, these are. You were put in a very high pedestal. That's why in the eyes of the public is concerned. Did you find this to be quite difficult or problematic when you actually come to promote takaful, or do you find that it wasn't really problematic because everybody basically understood, that to some extent the concept, for example, of tabarruk is sharing of risk. But I don't think the sharing of risk is something that they really understood. Maybe you can elaborate a bit on that.
So the easy part for me to explain concept of takaful is khairat kematian.
So khairat
something
kematian,
that they are familiar with.
So I think khairat kematian, for those people, audience who are not Malay speaking, I think that's basically death benefit.
Benevolent
fund.
Yeah, benevolent
on
fund.
people on death.
People on death.
Okay.
So it's prevalent in most villages. Collection bribe usually taken by the imam or the village head. So they collect on a monthly basis or something like that. And then when there's a death, that money is. I explained that's the close similarity to that benevolent fund and takaful. It's
the same concept.
But it's on a bigger scale.
Okay.
Just on a bigger scale.
That is interesting because yes, we have got that tradition whereby each mosque would have some kind of benevolent fund from the collections of the people that go to the mosque.
Yes.
So that could be a good sort of comparison with takaful.
I also have an experience. I was called to attend to the EXCO meeting at the government, at the Menteri Besar was there, the Chief Minister was there. So I also they called me to brief the EXCO during the meeting. So one of them raised up, "Are you sure you're Shariah compliant?" One of them said, Ustaz, I say, but your Majlis Ugama Islam is a shareholder. I'm sure before they come in with their share, they have already made sure that it's Sharia compliant. And we have fatwas, National Fatwa Council on the impermissibility of insurance. And we have, I mentioned the Sheikh Yusuf Al-Qardawi, but this also say, okay, take this. so it's basically, they won't argue. I say, I'm not a scholar, but I follow these scholars. The scholars say, Yusuf Qardawi says, it's okay with me. I'm not going to argue with them. The Fatwa Council said insurance is haram. Basically, the first fatwa was life insurance. Majlis Fatwa Kemansaan, life insurance. They say it's haram, so haram. So I follow. I'm not a scholar. I cannot argue with you on the what do you call it, on the intricacies of the Islamic jurisprudence, Islamic law. I'm not. I have little knowledge on that. But another thing interesting that maybe can share with you is how we sell takaful at that time.
Oh,
so
okay.
So when I go to this meetings with government agencies, we even went to the army base, army camp, the police stations. So we get granted full access. So what I did is, usually I have my assistant with me. We bring in proposal forms. Motto, we understand they have to renew. Okay, tell them that we have your motto. Please renew with us. In case you don't want to do any else, at least because motto is compulsory. Please make sure that
use takaful.
Use takaful. Okay, save you from sin. Basically, I tell
save you from sin.
From sin. Just be direct with them.
Direct.
Okay. But I also bring family takaful plans. Usually, I bring proposals. So I meet with 30 people. So I bring that up. So after discussing all these basic principles, okay, now I'm going to tell you about family takaful. Okay, so I tell family takaful, the benefit of family takaful, those things. So at the end of the session, I'll pass around the forms, proposal form. Take-up rate is very high, 80%, 70%. Take-up rate from the 30, 20 take. So I always go back to my office with 20 proposals at any time. So we tell them, as a start, this is something new. You are not, don't go for too high contribution.
Yes.
What because these are junior officers in the police station, the corporals, the sergeants.
Yeah.
Take 30 ringgit, 40 ringgit a month. So this is okay. I'll sign from okay. So I bring home 20 proposal forms after each session. So get it registered.
In a way, you were also providing financial advice because you appreciated that the product will have to be affordable.
Yes.
So you actually assisted in ensuring that they don't go for the high contribution products. They go for the smaller contribution.
I see when you can afford later.
Yes,
increase it. Yeah. So it's easy for them to sign and then because they say we have they say our office sometimes we allow these insurance agents, life insurance agents to come, but we are not convinced of the because agents they go for this high
because
commission driven. So I say I don't make any commission. Whatever you pay here to me, 20 ringgit because of the Mudarabah model, all the 20 ringgit will go to your fund, to the fund.
Yes.
So I'm not going to. So this is better. So this is how we manage. So we went from village to village. So in a week, I think 4 days. Out.
You were the branch manager and also the
supervisor
agent.
and the agent. The paid salary.
Paid salary, yeah. Because I think initially Takaful Malaysia had only direct salesperson who are employees of the company. The agency model was not there at that point of time. Okay.
And we have the branch operation at the branch.
At the branch.
People come and do their renewals
as well.
So it was okay.
Then after we move on, you were in Kota Baru for how long?
For 6 years.
That's a long time.
Yes.
So after 6 years, Dr. Fazli said, okay, Cik Wan, you basically done a good job. Now I give you a new assignment. What was the assignment?
It was to another branch in Kuantan. I was sent to...
There were more than one branch in Kuantan.
No, one in Kota Baru.
Kuantan Terengganu, of course. Kota Baru.
And then the next 6 years, I was in Kuantan.
So 12 years as branch
12
manager.
years as branch manager. 12 years.
Was there anything different in terms of the approach to because Kelantan and
East Coast mentality, East Coast mentality.
And I think when you say mentality, they're very much more religiously minded, and maybe as well in terms of income, they were at the lower level in terms of income.
Sure.
So after being brand managers at Kota Baru and Kuantan, where did Dr. Fazli send you?
Yeah, he was thinking because at that time, in 1998, Takaful, started 1986. So 1998, we were having problem with retakaful capacity. So I think they decided, let's set up a retakaful company. But before that, I think the what do you call this? The wisdom was to set up the Asean Takaful Group, ATG. At least let's think on how we can get some capacity from this ATG.
Who were the members of ATG initially?
ATG at that time was Takaful Malaysia, Takaful National, Takaful Insurance Islam Type, Takaful IBB.
Insurance Islam Type was in Brunei. Basically.
In Brunei, two from Brunei. Takaful IBB Brunei, Islam Type in Brunei. And then we have in Indonesia, Takaful Umum and Takaful Keluarga. And then one small outfit in Singapore. It's an agency. They work, I think, with NTUC or Capital Insurance, something like that.
Okay, yeah, that's right. NTUC Capital Insurance.
Yeah. So we got some...
so that was the Asean Takaful Group, the association
Group.
of all the Takaful operators in the region.
In the region. To get that capacity lah. Okay. So when ARIL was set up, Asean Takaful International in Labuan. So I was sent to Labuan. Okay.
Why Labuan?
Labuan because lower capital requirement.
Because it was an offshore center.
It's an offshore center, and then of course your outreach is easily to reach out to the regional and international market.
Okay,
as an offshore. Besides the lower capital requirement and tax and all those things.
Yes.
So in 1998, I was called to go and set up Asean Takaful.
That's where your experience at MNRB was very useful. You have got some reinsurance.
I think in hindsight, when I was in Kuantan, Dr. Fazli, I don't know, maybe it's just coincidence, he sent me for reinsurance course for 1 month in Scovie, Paris. So I was I was in that branch at that time. Maybe it's coincidence. I was sent to go to attend a 1 month reinsurance course at Scovie, Paris. That's another eye opener for me. So maybe that's some of the.
He was preparing you for the post.
Maybe.
But I think the point here being that up to that point of time, the Takaful operators in the region were actually using reinsurance.
Yes.
On the basis that Shariah says there was no retakaful.
Yes.
And therefore you use reinsurance.
Yes.
So then when you had some kind of already volume in terms of takaful, then it was thought that perhaps we're now ready to set up a retakaful operation.
Yeah.
So that was ARIL. And I guess, can I say that ARIL was the first retakaful standalone operator in the world? Or were you aware of anything else at the point in time?
They were in the Middle East, I think, but it's not a retakaful standalone. It's a insurance and reinsurance company. Takaful and retakaful, so they do both.
Okay.
Islamic Arab insurance and reinsurance company, so they can do some retakaful business.
Retakaful business. Okay. All right.
So we're not really the first. So in 1998, so we set up a company with a minimum capital of $1 million, I think, at that time.
$1 million.
$1 million.
So this is a retakaful company with a capital of $1 million. And were you doing both life and general?
Life and general.
Wow. Okay.
Life and general.
All right. Yeah. I mean, that's interesting. Well, can you recall what were some memorable moments in your experience in ARIL? You know, because being a retakaful operator, I'm sure you travel a lot.
Yes.
And by traveling a lot, you know, you probably are able to, gather in terms of experience in terms of what were the perhaps challenges that takaful operator face, in other regions. Is there anything that you could want to share with us in terms of your experience in ARIL?
At that time, when ARIL was set up, I think there were about not more than 20 takaful operators globally. 1998, 2000, around that year. Not more than 20. I think 3 from Malaysia. At that time, Takaful National was there. I think Maybank was also set up.
Maybank Takaful was there.
Also set up.
Takaful class was in the wings.
Takaful class. And then we have the Brunei and we have the Indonesian.
Yeah.
There's also the outfit in Sri Lanka.
Amanat
Takaful Sri Lanka.
Okay.
And then I visited the Middle East. I went to Saudi. There are a few small takaful companies. They are, as you see, the monetary agency of Saudi Arabia doesn't have the law to regulate insurance and takaful and Islamic even banks. So most of these companies are registered in Bahrain, but they opened a branch in Saudi. So I visited, I think 2 or 3 of them. I visited NCCI.
NCCI is based in the biggest insurance company, cooperative insurance company in Saudi.
They're based in Riyadh. So I visited them. But still, all those times was still very, very small business. I visited Iran.
Iran as well.
Iran is quite unique. Because the scholars in Iran doesn't consider the current form of insurance as non-Sharia compliant. The banks, yes. The banks, they say they have to set up Islamic banks. But for takaful, they say it's perfectly okay as it is now. So I brought this to my Shariah committee. They said since the scholars, they agree, so we go ahead. We cover them. We cover them. Okay. We also get some business from Bangladesh, and in Pakistan, Kuwait, of course in Bahrain and UAE. So those are some of the companies that manage. But when we met them, mostly these are all general. Middle East general basically.
Yeah, Middle East general. At that point of time.
Yeah, the Middle East general. But all on accommodation basis. I tell them frankly, we are a small company, but we are the retakaful company for you. So we need your support. I don't want to lead in your treaty. Just give me a share, whatever share, reasonable share. I'm happy. Thank you very much. Okay. At least we give you capacity, even though how small, but we still give capacity. So that when you go to your Sharia council, I told them, at least there's an effort for you to place rather than 100% with conventional. There's a retakaful capacity, even though it's still small.
Because basically you were just providing capacity. You were not providing any technical kind of assistance.
We were not there yet.
Very small.
Very small. About 4 of us.
Only 4 people in the retakaful operation. Wow.
4. Well, I think we moved to 6 or something like that. After we started with 4.
Wow.
1 doing general, 1 doing family, 1 doing finance, and me and my secretary.
So at that point in time, there were very few competitors, I suppose, in terms of retakaful.
Not many competitors. But again, even though there's no competitor, we are small. So we cannot really do much. So because of capacity, 100 million, 1 million US in capital. So we have to be very careful. So we get good support from reinsurers to support. We retro with
Oh, that's a good point.
Yeah.
What do you do? Because you are only $1 million.
$1 million. So we have
you have to retro as well.
To retro with for life mostly we got from Scovey, Singapore. Lawrence, I think you know him, Lawrence.
Yes,
Lawrence supported me. And then we have partner re, giving some capacity. CCR, the French company.
This is very interesting because and I think that our viewers would say $1 million capital for a reinsurance company, that doesn't sound very much.
Yeah.
But then you had the retro support. So I think it goes back to the concept that we do what we can.
Yeah.
We take small steps.
Yes.
There was no retakaful operation at that point of time. So the Asean Takaful Group decided to establish ARIL with the 1 million capital. But then on a technical perspective, they wanted it to be technically sound.
Yes.
So basically you had to depend on your retro partners.
Yeah.
Do you remember what was the kind of volume of contribution?
At that time, I think, if I'm not mistaken, let's say for in 1998, for example, our first year, or 1999, we wrote about $2 million business.
You had a capital of $1 million, and you had a contribution of $2 million.
$2 million.
Not bad.
Not bad.
Double their capital.
Not bad. And most of it at that time was because when we set up ARIL, we immediately set up the Asean Takaful Group pool. ATG pool.
ATG pool, of course.
ATG
yes,
pool.
I remember that.
That's our main source of income.
Okay.
For fire.
All right.
So we got business from Takaful Malaysia, we got from Takaful National and the two Brunei outfits, and also from Takaful Indonesia to contribute to that pool. This is priority pool. So after the retention, you have to go to the pool first, to this ATG pool, up to a certain amount. And then you only go to reinsurance or whatever you want to do. But that's a priority pool.
So that was the bulk of the $2 million came from the...
Yeah, about $300,000 from that pool, and then we have about some others from.
No, I think from the perspective of Takaful, the idea of a pool makes a lot of sense because you have another grouping, if you like.
Yeah.
And also when you've got a pool, you can then determine what risks you undertake under the pool. So there was the fire business.
Yeah,
the fire business is unlike the motor insurance.
Yeah.
Motor Takaful.
High loss
fire is much more predictable in that perspective.
Yes. We make money on that.
You make surplus.
We make surplus.
And was that Mudarabah model as well?
Mudarabah model. So after first year, we already distributed surplus to our participants, to the Takaful operators, even though ARIL doesn't make money yet.
Yeah. This is another unique kind of aspect of Takaful and retakaful. The fact that you don't have to worry about expense overruns. Basically, taking into the surplus from underwriting. This was in 1998. How long were you there, basically?
I was about 6 years.
So 666 seems to be your lucky number.
My lucky number 666.
So you when you left ARIL, how much was the premium contribution at one time?
I can't remember. I think about the capital before I left was increased. I think they managed to increase by increment. Okay.
Yeah,
in 2000 they increased to 4 million. By 2000, then by 2004 I think they increased to 14 million.
14.
Yeah, because they got new shareholders from IDB. Came in Takaful Malaysia. Of course, they increased their share. About 14 million, but still small for insurance company.
But it was a start. And I think the important thing is that it was a.
But we start with one. Remember?
Yes, we start with one. Okay. Were you happy with the growth of ARIL?
We were reasonably successful in managing that business. We were a small outfit. It is profitable, a surplus. We managed to get surplus, and our costs are not that high.
Yes.
Because but to move from there, we have to get more, the technical part of it have to be increased.
Yes.
Now we're just a follower. We take 3% here, 4% here, 5% here. This is small shares. We cannot go on like that forever.
True.
We have to move the ladder. But that capital is handy.
I guess what's very, very important is the support of the Takaful company, that they actually agreed to provide or contribute, if you like, to the pool and to ARIL as well. And this was all voluntary, wasn't it? There was no basic requirements to actually support ARIL.
No.
So I think we have to say that
it's just what they call this persuasion.
Moral persuasion.
Moral persuasion. Yeah, you do what you want to. Sometimes I speak bluntly to my friends in Indonesia. You want to go to hell?
You want to go?
So support us. That's jokingly,
of course.
Jokingly.
Yeah.
But remember at that time when in the 2004, 2005, before I left, there were one or two more other retakaful companies. Basri has started their window, retakaful window.
What year was that?
About 2004, I think Basri has started some retakaful business.
Okay.
So they were already in the market. So some competition there. ARIL also.
ARIL started from Bahrain.
Bahrain, yeah. So they also have retakaful capacity after that. So by 2004, 2005, there was some competition. No, there were additional capacity, not actually competition.
I think
additional capacity in the market.
We might give ARIL credit for that, in the sense that they saw that ARIL was successful, and therefore they decided that perhaps there's something that we should go into. So I think we have to give due credit to the ARIL team in terms of making it a start.
Because at that time also, I think there are more Takaful operators were set up.
Of course.
We started about 20. I think by that time was about 30, 40.
Already, globally.
So there are more.
Yeah. So after ARIL, where did you go? So you were 6 years in ARIL?
6 years in ARIL. And then I was asked to go to Indonesia because you see in Indonesia, the story of Takaful Indonesia is that they were set up 95, 96, something like that. Takaful Malaysia came in as a technical partner, and then after some time, I can't remember, they asked us to come up to contribute, participate in the shareholding of Takaful Indonesia. So by virtue of that, Takaful Malaysia sent over at that time the CFO of Shariah Takaful Malaysia, Tuan Haji Arif, to lead the group lah. In Indonesia, they have the STI, the holding. Shariah Takaful Indonesia, they are the holding.
Indonesia.
Okay, and then we have the Asuransi Takaful Keluarga, the life, and the Asuransi Takaful Umum, the general. So Tuan Haji Arif was sent there to lead the organization.
Before that, I mean, this is before you were sent there.
Yeah.
I think you also mentioned something about how Takaful Indonesia was set up.
Yeah.
In terms of who actually provided the capital. It was a bit unique, I think you mentioned about Takaful Indonesia.
Unlike Malaysia, Takaful Indonesia was grounds up. Okay, it's the people who go to who make the effort to set up Takaful. The same with Islamic Bank there, Bank Muamalat. It was
in Indonesia.
Yeah, it was from ground up. It's the masses. If you can say crowdfunding line in today's term.
The first crowdfunding.
Crowdfunding basically. Okay, Takaful. So they have these are basically Islamic activists in Indonesia. Islamic activists who sponsored.
So this is very much unlike Malaysia, where it was top down. Indonesia is bottom up.
Bottom up. So it's quite unique. I remember I was told that not Takaful Indonesia, Bank Muamalat, because of the huge number of participants who put in share. They have to at one time they have to rent a stadium to run the AGM.
Too many shareholders.
Too many shareholders. So the Takaful Indonesia was not that, but we have individual shareholders. The businesses there, businessmen there, and then we have the ICMI. This is under Habibi lah. ICMI, Kelantan Terengganu Muslim Indonesia, and all those activists, basically activists, Muslim activists. So they were very passionate about Shariah compliant insurance, Shariah compliant banking. Yeah.
Perhaps you can tell us about what are the challenges of promoting Takaful in Indonesia, because you spent 12 years in as a branch manager, and you mentioned at the beginning that when you started the branch in Kota Baru in Kelantan, you had basically the support of the government there, the state government there, and the institutions in the state, within the state government. But Indonesia, it's a bit different, isn't it? It wasn't actually the government that actually promoted directly anyway, and the development of Islamic insurance and Islamic banking. It was really bottoms up. So that means that you have different set of challenges when you maybe not challenges, maybe to some extent your shareholders perhaps could be your first participants. Tell us a bit more in terms of your experience in Indonesia.
Of course, Bank Muamalat was there, so they were basically our main contributor. Bank Muamalat, but Bank Muamalat was also small at that time. We just started, so both were small.
Were they also shareholders in
they have
Takaful in Indonesia? They had some shares as well at that point in time.
And then, as you rightly mentioned, it's unlike Malaysia. It's just, where we have the full support of the government. In Indonesia, that is not available. So we have to run ourselves. We have to really go to the market. And insurance penetration is still very low. Insurance literacy is very low. When we look on paper, it looks stunning. If you say Indonesia has 250 million population. We say 10% is middle class. It means people who have buying power to buy insurance and takaful. That's 25 million.
That's more than the population of Muslims in Malaysia.
So on paper it looks very nice. Okay. So we look at we have look at religious organizations, and Nahdlatul Ulama, NU. Okay. They have 80 million members.
Followers. What's NU?
Followers.
NU is what?
NU is Nahdlatul Ulama. This is the traditionalist. The traditionalist group. Okay.
They have some kind of association.
These are loose associations. They are not really members. They are followers. They're not really registered members. They are followers.
Followers of the particular guru, whatever.
Yeah. So they have all those religious schools in various parts of Indonesia. So they're about 80 million. And then we have the second biggest group of Muslim group, Muhammadiyah. Muhammadiyah is the modernist.
The
modernist. Okay. So there's about 40 million. But these are loose organizations. They subscribe to the ideals of Muhammadiyah, to the philosophy of Nahdlatul Ulama. But they are not really registered members. So 80 million for me, wow, very big. But then when we go there, it's not easy. Insurance literacy is very, very low. So a lot of effort have to be undertaken to propagate this one. And then we lack the people who can go really to the ground, to convince people to take, takaful and all those things. Even Bank Muamalat.
Was it two things? One, it was still the Mudarabah model, wasn't it?
Mudarabah model.
Was there any difference in Mudarabah model in use in Indonesia?
We have modified Mudarabah. We modified it a little bit in Indonesia.
How do you modify it?
We have some surplus sharing, and we have some upfront fee that we try to manage.
Okay. But was it in terms of distribution? Was it like Malaysia, whereby you basically have employees distributing your product?
We have
agents.
We have agents.
So I guess the fees that you collect modified Mudarabah was necessary because you have to pay commissions to the agents. We don't have that many. We don't have many of those people, those kind of people, to go out to the market. And then Indonesia is basically very spread out. It's a huge country.
So if you talk So the concentration will be in Java, and then we have Sumatra, and then the rest, Sulawesi, all those are sparsely, not really heavily populated area.
So you were meet what? Were you meet the group at the group level?
At the group level.
You were CEO at the group level?
The group level is Shariah Takaful Indonesia.
So you were in
CEO,
charge of the whole operation,
the whole operation
of the life in general as well.
Yeah. In general. So,
What are the challenges? I mean, I get it that effectively, Indonesia being a big country, and the fact that you have only a very small distribution force. Of course, you had the bank, but the bank was very small.
Yeah.
So I guess compared to Malaysia, it was more difficult.
It was more difficult in Indonesia, right? On paper, it looks very nice.
On paper, let's say it looked very nice, but trying
to go to the market. The obvious one, I think, for Indonesia, if you really want to go, maybe micro takaful is the more logical choice. In hindsight, micro takaful is a better choice.
Yeah,
a better choice. You can easily because micro takaful, as you know, it goes with microfinancing.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so usually that is a lot. That is a
lot of microfinancing
done in Indonesia. So that is a way to speed up penetration rate, of insurance for takaful and Islamic banking even.
Okay,
that's my view.
So what kind of products was actually being distributed in Indonesia? I mean, if you're going to go, because in Malaysia, motor is compulsory, so that assisted for Malaysia in getting the volume up. In Indonesia,
motor is also compulsory.
Also compulsory. Was motor also the primary
product?
Your
prime product, yeah.
Yeah.
So it's a prime product.
Do they have as well, like Malaysia, the road tax issue, or?
I think road tax. I think they not as complicated, not the same as ours. I think they are more. I think it's paid once or something like that.
Paid once.
I think something like that. Okay. If I'm not wrong, I can't remember.
So between family takaful and general takaful, which was the one that actually grew faster?
Family takaful was the bigger business.
That is interesting because I think normally people find that family takaful is a much more difficult kind of proposition to sell.
So because of besides the single premium products, we have the group product. Group product.
So you said okay. So I think the group products are the one that's sold to employers, associations.
Yeah.
So basically, you cover a group of the employees, a group of the members, and you would then receive one check. This is the contribution for the year. So it helps you in terms of collection.
Collection,
yeah. And also the fact that the amount will be bigger as opposed to individuals. Whereby you have to go and sell one to each individual, and the amount is very small. The group was the primary driver, and it's family takaful.
Yeah. The individual single premium, installment premiums, regular premium, is not as easy as in Malaysia. If I go, I bring 30 forms, I see 30 people, I'll take back 20 poster forms.
It was Kota Baru.
In Kota Baru. Yeah. But then in Indonesia, it doesn't work that way. So tougher nut to crack.
I think as well. I think the fact as well is that it goes back to which segment of the population that you're targeting. Yeah. So Indonesia, it goes back to distribution, I suppose. The agents that you have on board perhaps could not access the segment of the market that perhaps now you were able to access in Malaysia, and so then these people normally they probably could not afford to buy, because I think one thing that also differentiate Malaysia from Indonesia from Malaysia is that yes, a very big population, but many of the people in Indonesia do not earn very much. So that's why in terms of takaful, it could be seen as a luxury.
True.
Yeah. So you thrive basically on group business and through the bank, contribution. Were there any issues with regards to training of your employees there in Indonesia?
Yeah, we would import a lot of technical expertise from Malaysia. Because by that time I was there, it was a subsidiary of Takaful Malaysia. So a lot of technical, assistance were given. So we even sent over some of the staff to Kuala Lumpur for training. We even brought to let's say for Takaful Umum, we brought the IT system from here that we used at that time for the general business to be adopted by in Indonesia. So a lot of work was done to help the business grow. It was respectable, but we should be having better.
Yeah.
It was respectable.
Yeah. And it goes back to I guess the fact that the management of Takaful Malaysia found saw it in that it is basically also for them to promote Takaful overseas, and they saw Indonesia as being the closest neighbor, as an opportunity to actually try to promote Takaful. I mean, you were not involved in Brunei.
No, I was not involved.
But effectively, I guess Indonesia was a bigger challenge.
Yes, it's a
for
bigger,
the reasons you mentioned just
market.
now. What about assets? Would you have any problem in terms of finding investments to
investment
Shariah comply?
at that time? Not that many. Not that great. Not that great. There were at that time. I think when I was there were no sukuks.
No sukuks.
No sukuks. And I think from equities were not also. We don't have this. These white labels are not that many. It's quite a challenge also on the investment. I think it should be much better. I don't know. It should be much better now.
How long were you in Indonesia, basically?
I was about
6 years.
3 years. No, 3 years.
Only 3 years.
3 years.
Okay. And after that, where did you
3
go?
years. I left the group, and I came home, and then I was headhunted to set up a Takaful company in Dubai, a general Takaful company.
You left Takaful Malaysia?
I left the group. I left Takaful Malaysia. I left Takaful Indonesia and left the group.
Left Takaful Malaysia group as well.
Yeah.
So you were headhunted to set up a company
in Dubai.
Company in Dubai.
In Dubai, general Takaful company.
Okay.
General Takaful company in Dubai.
Tell us about Dubai.
Dubai is an interesting place. Okay. It's a business place. Okay, it's business where everybody want to make money as quickly as possible. If this is prevalent in the property market. People were all buying property. I was I was lucky. I was really motivated to buy property there. It was so easy.
Oh.
It was so easy. But my few of my friends who bought it, they regret for life. Because it was easy to get. It's like the what you call this financial crisis in the US, the subprime crisis. Loans were easy. Okay, you can easily get loan. And then I remember when they set up a new project, launched today. There's no building yet, just the the model.
Yeah.
Sold off. Sold off. So we go and buy. A few of my friends bought, and then they will get stuck after that because they cannot sell. They're supposed to similar, close to that. There's subprime crisis here. So I didn't buy anything. My wife said, "Don't buy anything. Let's go." But it's a very fast pace.
What year was that?
2007. I went to Indonesia 2004. So by 2007, 2008, I was in Dubai.
Yeah.
I set up that company. Shareholders are businessmen. They have traders.
So this is startup as well?
Startup was a new company set up, sponsored by a Islamic finance company. The main sponsor. In Dubai, the thing is the rule at that time. I don't know now. Each insurance Takaful company that is going to be licensed, you must first be offered to the public.
So you must be listed.
You must be listed. So we went through an IPO. Before we were given operating license, you must go through an IPO to be listed first. Once that ready, then only they give us the operating license. So the company was listed in the Dubai Stock Exchange. It's a requirement for the operating license requirement. So the capital was about 100 million dirham. I remember when we did the IPO, it was 100 times oversubscribed. Okay.
100 times oversubscribed.
No,
even
a
though
billion.
we yet to collect even one dirham in terms of contribution.
Yeah. Because you know the economy is flush with money.
The economy was flush
Economy is
with
full
money.
of money. You know because of the property, people buying, selling property. I remember when I first started, I met with your insurance company. They say you be careful insurance here because many insurance companies are caught in the cash flow underwriting mentality. Collect as much premium as possible. Don't worry about the underwriting. You know, we will invest the money. We make money from investment. So don't worry about the underwriting.
Wow.
Just collect cash. Invest. Okay. And then when the property market started going down, then people started looking back. Now you have to tighten the underwriting.
Okay. So basically you started the operation and it was General Takaful.
General Takaful.
What was the primary contribution coming from? Was it motor or medical?
Motor
Motor as well.
Motor. The low hanging fruit was motor.
Was it the same rate as conventional?
Oh, this is very, what do you call this? Very undisciplined market. You can go
Whatever rate you want.
Premium shopping. You go to A, I can charge you whatever. You go to company B, you go to company C, and
that's not really conducive for Takaful though, because effectively, in Takaful, you're supposed to be the operator, you're the trustee, you have to make sure that the contribution that you collect is sufficient to pay claims. But it was just basically like any other insurance company as far as contribution is concerned. It was actually trying to get as much contribution in as possible.
Yes.
And
hope to make money from investment.
And hope to make money from investment. I think there's a book to be written there about what not to do.
But it was okay. It was okay. Loss ratio was not too high.
All right.
Loss ratio was manageable.
Maybe that would mean that the contribution is still very high. The fact that you're still having low loss ratios.
Not say low, but manageable. I mean.
Or do you think because there was a certain select group of
not really.
participants that go to you and they have a better discipline? Not really. Well, I forgot to ask you. What was the operating model that you used?
We use Wakalah.
So this is the first time for you.
Wakalah.
You use Wakalah.
Bil Ujrah.
And that was it. And again, remind me again, what year was this?
This is 2007.
Okay.
2007.
Yeah. I think Wakalah model was already established in Malaysia by that point of time. Yes.
Wakalah. First time I used Wakalah.
What was the Wakalah fee that you charged? Do you remember?
30-40%.
30-40% Wakalah fee.
Maximum, yeah.
And then, of course, you had to pay commissions from the Wakalah fee.
Yes. We have also the surplus sharing.
They have surplus sharing as well. So that distinguishes you from the other insurance company, the fact that you have surplus sharing.
Yeah.
And you were able to pay surplus as well.
Yes.
This all sounds very good. Even though it was a very hot market.
It's a hot market. If you
did it grow very fast, the company?
It grew quite fast. Grew quite fast. But being a small company, we were not.
Were you the first Takaful company?
No, I think we were the second.
Second.
It was Salama, I think.
Oh, Salama, of course. Salama was well established then by then. Yeah.
Salama was there. We were the second. And also Nur Takaful. Nur Takaful. I don't know whether they have general. I think they do have general. Nur Takaful have both. I think general and family of the Nur Bank. Nur Islamic Bank.
But the point being that there were not many Takaful companies in Dubai at that point of time.
No.
And were you just primarily in Dubai, or you also established branches in the other parts of the Emirates?
When I was there, we planned to set up in Abu Dhabi. But I think maybe they have set that branch. Before that,
at that point in time, it was just one branch.
Just one branch. We have our main branch, I think, main branch in another part of Dubai. I think that's another small branch. Our servicing branch.
Okay. So you talk about the fact that businessmen.
Businessmen.
Everything was business. So what about Takaful? Were there any expectations of the investors?
The expectation that we bring as much money as possible.
What did you do? Were you making money from day one, or?
Yeah, of course. First year,
in terms of surplus, yes, because of the Wakala model, you have that the Takaful fund. What about the operator fund? Were you making money?
At the first year, it doesn't make money yet.
Yeah, of course.
First year. Because unlike ARIL, we have a proper team. ARIL, we need 4 or 5, we can run the business. For a Takaful company, we have to easily start with 20.
Of course, because you are a
direct company, so we have to.
So you had high overheads.
Higher overhead.
It's more difficult to make money from the Wakala fee. So
first
year you didn't make money.
No, didn't make money.
When did you make money?
I think on the second or third year.
It's not bad as well. I mean, people would love to make money in the second year already. So in terms of contribution, do you remember how much contribution you managed to collect?
I can't.
It was some time ago.
I can't remember.
So apart from motor, what other businesses?
We do all the general business. We try to do medical, but I think medical was too bad, very bad in the market. The loss ratio was terrible. So, and there were a lot of fraud.
A lot of fraud.
Because these are taken up by these these workers. These what you call it? Migrant workers
in Dubai.
So in Dubai. It's not that easy. So I think we didn't at that time. I said don't do it. Don't do medical.
But in terms of assets, would you also invest in properties? I mean,
yes.
So the Takaful company invested in properties, even though as a general Takaful company, you don't really have that kind of long tail kind of.
We bought our
business.
We bought our own unit, for our office. That's one.
Yeah.
I think we bought one or two, not too many.
Not too many.
One or two.
So you were prudent in that perspective.
Yeah.
So how long were you in Dubai?
So I was about 3 years. 3 years.
What made you leave after 3 years?
Another
opportunity.
Another opportunity. So I have enough of Arabic food. So I said, let's go home.
Well, that's the reason.
I told my wife, let's
too much Arabic food. So now let's move on.
Let's move on.
So what happened after that? Where did you go?
I came back.
That was the year what? 2010.
2010.
Yeah.
2011, and I came back. I did my masters in banking finance.
At Islamic University?
Islamic University, International Islamic University. Did my masters and did some teaching, and then again through Datuk Fazli, we were called by a group in Nigeria to set up a Takaful company in Nigeria. This is a group of Muslim professionals, basically. Okay, they were the same group was instrumental to set up the first Islamic bank in Nigeria, Jais Islamic Bank. So they were thinking to set up Takaful. So they approached us. So we went there to help them with the business plan, with the all those things, and to sell our case to the regulator. So once that approved, they asked me to stay on as the first MD, first CEO. So I stayed in Nigeria for 1 over years.
What was it?
2017, 2018.
Maybe just to summarize about the demographics of Nigeria. I mean,
Nigeria, I think it's about the population is about 170 million population.
Quite a big country.
It's a big country.
What about in terms of
demographic?
religious,
I think slightly bigger Muslim population, and mostly concentrated in the north.
But not 50% with the other religions as well.
Not 50%. Not 50%. There are mostly besides this is more Christians, and then we have the traditional religions. Traditional religions, of course. And Nigeria is an absolute secular country.
What do you mean absolute?
Absolute secular. It means the government doesn't deal with religion. Religion is up to you. there's no, like in Malaysia, we have the JAKIM, we have the controlled by the government. All those religious authorities that are what they call government agencies. In Nigeria, they don't really have that kind of on religion. So it's managed on your own. So let's say, for example, to declare Ramadan, for example.
Yeah,
Declare
the start of Ramadan.
Start Ramadan. Here we have the council of the sultans
In Malaysia,
in Malaysia to declare Ramadan or Eid or whatever. Okay, because religion is under what they call this, under the authority of the sultans. But there's no such thing. So, but they have the traditional sultan in the north of Nigeria, where we follow, not obliged, we follow his. So he will declare. There's a sultan there in the north
of Nigeria,
a traditional sultan. It's called Sultan of Sokoto. It's a sultanate there. It's a sultan, traditional sultan. He will declare, okay, tomorrow is Ramadan, so the rest of the country will follow. The rest of the Muslims will follow. But it's not obligatory. It is by tradition. Okay, there are no proper zakat foundation, for example. Zakat are collected by organizations. They do have a Hajj commission where they manage Hajj, but it's just a commission to facilitate pilgrims to go for their Hajj. Okay, but that's it basically. No Islamic courts.
no Shariah courts.
No Shariah courts basically.
No, not even in the villages. They don't have Shariah.
That's privately practiced by the group, by the what do you call this? By the society. It's not really organized as an official body.
I see.
It's not as an official body. So if you get married there, like it or not, you have to get registered with the what do you call it, the registrar of marriage, and then only you go to do your
religious
rights of marriage.
Of rights of marriage.
So it's religion is not part of the government. It's very, very secular. It's very, very secular.
So given that kind of background, perhaps you can explain how the Takaful operation was marketed and the makeup, the employees and participants. What was different about Nigeria as far as Takaful?
As I told you just now, Nigeria is a secular country. So religious symbols, you have to be carefully adopted. So religious symbols. Of course, there are mosques, there are churches, okay? But in the public space, the words, for example, Shariah, it's not commonly, like in the case of Malaysia, Indonesia, we can, go around and say we are Shariah compliant. We don't really talk that way in Nigeria, okay, because of the sensitivities. I remember when the government, I think the government of Nigeria want to issue a sukuk, their first sukuk for infrastructure project in Nigeria. There was a huge, cry in the media that the government of Nigeria is going to become an Islamic state because they want to issue a sukuk. So that's how the sensitivity is in Nigeria. So what we did is we say, okay, we understand the sensitivities. Let's depart from our normal practice in Malaysia and Indonesia. Okay, let's use what they call universal terminologies when it comes to Islamic banking and finance, in Takaful especially. So rather than talking about we are Sharia compliant, we are an ethical company.
Ethical company. So you're an ethical insurance company.
Ethical insurance company. Okay. So we don't use Sharia, we use ethical. So we say that we are ethical, we pay your claims on time, we don't discriminate in the pricing, all those things, okay? We charge you fairly, we pay you surplus at the end of the day. So these are our selling points to them. So religious symbols are minimized. So our brochures we don't use. Like here, you want to put in the brochure the picture of a mosque. No need. Show Nigerian people, Nigerian, what do you call this? Actors in our brochures, who wear their traditional clothes. Nigerian clothes.
Yeah.
Okay. And in terms of employment, we employ as many non-Muslims as Muslims. So it's a good mix of Muslim and non-Muslims in our organization. Because when you go out to sell, as I told them, don't sell our company as an Islamic or Shariah company. Sell our company again as the ethical company. So easily acceptable by the public. So we have good support from both Muslims and non-Muslims.
As far as Muslims are concerned, I guess you would have a certification from the local Sharia association or group to say that you are Sharia compliant. So anybody wants to ask you, are you Sharia compliant? You can show them that. Is it?
No,
so you have Sharia council as well.
We have Sharia council. We have the regulator there. It's called NICOM, National Insurance Commission of Nigeria. They decide on the regulations so that we are Sharia compliant.
Oh, you mean the regulator determines whether you're Sharia compliant or not?
Yeah. The guidelines is there. So for us to be Sharia compliant, so you must do this. You must appoint for example, in here we call it Sharia committee. Because of the sensitivity that we don't call Sharia committee in Nigeria. We call it Advisory Council of Experts, ACE. It's not called Sharia committee.
Advisory Council of Experts. ACE.
So our Sharia committee is actually it's called ACE members.
But given that religion is not basically something that the government gets involved in, it's interesting to hear that you have regulations which determines whether you're Sharia compliant or not. Because that seems to imply that the government is determining, Sharia compliance, which is not consistent.
The general guidelines.
The general guidelines. But
models that we use must be approved by them. The products that we offer to the public must be approved by them. At the regulatory level, they're called Takaful Advisory Council. They want to use Takaful. At the advisory council, at the regulator level.
Council, you mean the regulator themselves got their own Sharia advisors?
They have their own Sharia. They call it Takaful Advisory Council. They have their own Sharia advisors, like our SEC here.
Oh, that's interesting. So from that perspective, although you call yourself ethical insurance, not Takaful, but then there must be some kind of understanding that this is Sharia approved.
Yes.
And what was the name of the company, of the Takaful company in the first place? Do you have the word Takaful in there? Not really.
Nur Takaful Insurance.
So you do use the word Takaful.
But we will put insurance there, not to confuse the public.
So you say Nur Takaful Insurance. The word insurance is there.
It's there. No Takaful Insurance.
And the word Takaful is there as well.
Yeah.
So that sort of gives you the Sharia aspect of it. I mean, were there any other Takaful companies there?
There are 5 now.
What are the names that they have? They have the word Takaful in there as well?
Jais Takaful. I think they also use Takaful. It's of Jais Bank.
Yeah.
Then we have Salama Takaful. They use Takaful.
So Takaful is the word that's used.
Yeah.
But they must also use the word insurance.
Insurance, basically.
Okay.
Basically.
Insurance. Okay. Well, going back to your employees, you also mentioned to me once that you also had like priests. When
I was there, my former GM,
general manager.
He was a part-time pastor.
Part-time pastor.
Pastor.
So it was a Christian.
No problem. You're Christian, so I said, no problem. It's your religion.
But did he market to Christians? Was it really acceptable to Christians as well?
We managed to get church congregations to take group life with us.
Okay.
Group family.
Yeah. No, the point is that it is marketed as ethical insurance.
Ethical insurance.
So I mean, as far as the religious concept, I guess, our religion and it was basically is part of the people, the book, as it were. So I guess it's not unusual.
Yeah.
But it is interesting that you have got a pastor or part-time pastor in your sort of operation as well.
He even asked me one day, can I come late tomorrow after lunch, because I have to give the sermon. They have a program. I say, okay, no problem.
I understand.
So we have a good mix of Muslims and non-Muslims. It's all right.
It's all right, yeah.
So
No, I think
this never happened in Indonesia and Malaysia before.
Yeah.
It's totally a religious organization. In Indonesia and in Malaysia before, it used to be
during the early years,
it used to be a religious organization.
So which means that as far as employees is concerned,
100%
Muslims.
100% Muslims. And another thing that I wish to tell everybody, when I joined Takaful Malaysia, so we were from the industry, we were conventional industry, without with a small knowledge of Shariah. So what the management of Takaful Malaysia did was very good. I always recommend this to other companies. We were sent for a 1 week or 2 weeks, getaway training on, they call it Tasawwur Islam, Islamic worldview.
Islamic worldview.
Yes. Not just, they don't talk about Takaful anymore. Takaful you can learn. The Mudarabah, but then they want to teach us what is the Islamic worldview so that you can keep it in your mind. How do you want to react to things? So that is to me that's a valuable, very
experience.
Experience and knowledge to be made to understand Islamic worldview. So that Shariah is become second nature to you, because of this Islamic value that is imparted to you, that's implanted into you. It becomes very easy for you to appreciate Shariah, to be careful not to cross the boundaries of Shariah, because that worldview is there.
I think perhaps for those non-Muslim viewers, I think you need to explain a bit more in terms of, when you say worldview, is this not the practice of in terms of prayers or fasting, But when you say Islamic worldview, perhaps you can give some color to that. I mean, what exactly?
It's the frame of mind of how you are faced with various things in your life.
Yeah.
It's the frame of mind. It's the philosophy that's stuck in your mind. Okay, that's the what do you call this? That's the function of your accountability to God, for example, in whatever you do. There's always reminded. Whatever you do, there's accountability. Accountability is not only here. There's accountability in the hereafter, for example.
Yes.
And how you are faced with different types of scenarios. How do you react?
This is interaction with
your fellow Muslims, non-Muslims, with whatever, in the commercial aspect, in the social aspect. So this worldview is very important.
I guess maybe some people say that Sharia is
Sharia is part of it.
Yeah, in the sense that it is a way of life, basically, isn't it? So it's not just about how you practice religion.
Sharia is the law. The law is the law. But we go beyond that law. We're understanding,
And this is why you're emphasizing this is that you have to inculcate the Sharia, if you like, in the practice of takaful.
It's easier. It's easier for you to appreciate and follow Sharia if we have that frame of mind. But
I mean, that's for management. What about the agents? But then you were not involved in agents at that point in time, right?
That's why I said this is something that should be imparted to all levels of the Takaful organization.
Yeah.
I strongly believe it.
Okay.
Because it gives you the
ethical, the word ethical as well.
Ethical thing. Yeah.
I mean, when you say Islamic worldview, maybe we can say that it is a set of I
beliefs,
guess,
actions, how you react to certain things in certain what circumstances. So this is so from my observation, those who read at that time, the earlier batch, we never left Takaful, even though we left Takaful. We don't go to conventional anymore. I think I can 98% who go back to conventional.
I mean, this is the people who management who were actually went to Takaful. They never go back.
They never go back to conventional.
Conventional insurance.
Never go back.
So going back to Nigeria, I mean, we not to say that Muslims have got a monopoly in terms of being ethical.
Yeah.
I mean, being ethical is something, I guess, has been promoted globally, as the best way to lead your life. So in terms of going back to Nigeria, I mean, you have a workforce which was more than not just Muslims, there were non-Muslims as well. What about Dubai? Were you all 100% Muslims as well?
No. Dubai is also a melting pot.
Melting pot.
We have Indians, Hindus.
Yeah.
We have Lebanese. Some Lebanese are Christians.
Christians. So only in Malaysia at that point of time. But now Malaysia, of course, different.
Different.
Takaful companies got a significant number of non-Muslims per se, But I think that the criteria that it is ethical, as I said, is it transgress. It cuts across all religion.
Yes.
Right. So it's just a matter of ensuring that your workforce basically subscribe those principles.
Yeah.
And I think when you say workforce, I think it has to be as well in terms of the agents of the company.
Yes. Yeah. We conduct trainings. I myself conduct training for additional stage. So I give them, explain to them all those things, the worldviews, all those things. I share with them. So that. So in the end of the day, I say that whatever we do, you can call yourself Islamic Shariah compliant, but then if your product are lousy, your service is not good, no point.
And I go back to what was mentioned earlier in the sense that, when people sort of see takaful and call that da'wah, if you like, promotion of religion or Islamic religion to be the same. You have certain advantages and you have certain disadvantages as well. So advantages maybe into accessibility, but disadvantage in the sense that maybe the perception of the public maybe is setting you too high in a pedestal. If I can say that.
I think at that time, now no more.
No more.
At that time.
So I get sometimes questions about takaful that in terms of, for example, claims. Maybe certain claims is not sort of acceptable because the terms of the product does not say that this type of events will actually result in a claim. But then we say, but you're a takaful company. You should actually meet the obligations you have to the participants. But the point being that the participants did not understand the product in the first place, and that takaful to some extent is also an operation that has to be viable, which means that you have to actually follow certain sets of rules. So takaful is not charity.
Yes,
I think. Sometimes people sort of mistake takaful with charity. Charity, perhaps you can go to the zakat.
Yeah.
Do you have that kind of...
On that point, let me go back 30 years ago when I was in Kota Baru.
Yes.
This charity concept.
Yeah.
So when we opened the branch there, one imam came to the office. He said he wanted to take for his motor takaful. He want to renew his road tax very quickly. So I explained to him, tabaruk. I understand tabaruk. I say, understand tabaruk. So what happened is he said, tabaruk, okay, good, very good. This is a very good concept. I agree with him. So I told him that you have to pay, for third party, I think 100 over ringgit. No, I want to pay 300.
So instead of 100, he was the right contribution. He wants to pay 300.
Yeah, this charity. This is
charity because charity. Tabaruk.
This is donation. So I was at a loss. How to explain to him? So I have to explain to him that no, we are charity. But our charity is specific. Charity. We have a specific purpose. We have to do specific people, specific risk profile. Have to explain to him for quite some time. But he still cannot get it. He said, charity is charity. So he argued, in that case, can I pay 50? Because it's charity.
It's charity.
It's charity.
I determine what I want to give as a charity.
It's charity.
Yeah.
You want to pay 300? You say, no, cannot. You have to pay only what we have calculated for you. It's 120 ringgit, something like that. Or in that case, can I pay 50? So that's the thing that
But what on the claim side? When people come and say, I have to decline your claim because it's not covered.
That's also a big issue.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be charity. Now
So
I'm in trouble. You should pay. So we have to explain to him that, there are certain rules that we have, we have to be fair to the participants, If we allow this everything to happen, there's nothing in the fund. We cannot pay anymore. Everybody comes with, claim that you think that they have the right, and then this company will close down and there's no money. The charity, the money in the charity box will be depleted sooner than later. So we have to control this.
I guess you have to say that this Takaful operation is being run on the basis of mathematical kind of probabilities, if you like, in order to ensure that we have sufficient money. We have to ensure that the contributions are appropriate and make sure that
I gave them the analogy in the benevolent fund, karat kematian.
Karat kematian.
Will you cheat when you make a claim to the imam? You won't cheat, isn't it? So that's charity. That's a mutual help scheme.
Okay.
So the same is Takaful. There shouldn't be fraud because it's a mutual help scheme. So think about the khairat kematian, the benevolent fund,
course,
which is
But then again, I think there's always this confusion. Exactly to what extent Takaful is a charity, to what extent is a business.
Yes.
It's something that is still work in progress, I think, in terms of communication to the public. But let's move on. I think from this podcast, I think we can appreciate you have a very unique career. You involved in Takaful, retakaful, startups in many countries, four different countries, with different environment. Perhaps you can summarize what would be the essential ingredients to have a chance of making Takaful succeed. I mean, you mentioned a bit about this earlier. Perhaps you can, just
maybe
recap. What are the essentials?
The few points lah. The few pertinent points. Number one, I think Shariah compliance. That has to be guarded closely, carefully. Shariah compliance, be sure. There are issues. There will be many issues on Shariah. People say that our model is not Shariah compliant. Those are work in progress. We as operators, practitioners, work on what is available on the table now. You want to use mudarabah. The scholars has approved mudarabah or wakalah or whatever. Or the modified mudarabah or modified wakalah. Use that. But use it, carefully. Okay? Religiously. Okay? Don't depart from that. Let this polemics of be among the scholars. Okay? They ask us for opinion, we give our opinion. But concentrate on, because it will confuse the public. We say, okay, maybe wakalah, but I think there's a better way of doing it. Don't do that in the public space as practitioners, as players. Okay? Stick to what we have, what the scholars have decided. Don't try to outsmart the scholars. I think they also got. I mentioned to them. People argue. I say these scholars, our scholars, are also God-fearing people.
God-fearing people.
They also fear God. They don't want. They don't simply give the fatwa, carelessly. Okay. They also fear God. Okay. So bear that in mind. Okay.
Yeah.
Until a time, it's always because these are new things. These are new. This doesn't happen during the time of the Prophet. For example, even during the classical Islam, this is contemporary things. That is always work in progress. We can keep going. So Shariah compliance is key. Try to keep as much as possible so that we are Shariah in all aspects. Okay, if you are in doubt of Shariah, don't assume. Don't assume. Refer to the scholars. Refer to the Shariah committee. Refer to your Shariah manager or whatever. Don't assume that this is Shariah compliant. Cannot. We have to guard that religiously, jealously, whatever you want to say. Okay, number one, and number two is the work culture. The work culture in its so-called Islamic organization is striving towards excellence. Okay, so it's no point that we say that we want to do Shariah compliance, but then our work culture doesn't mesh, it doesn't mirror that. Okay, we are slow in our processing. We are slow in paying our claims. We don't keep our promises. Then what's the purpose of Islamic finance, of being a Sharia compliant company? If we can't deliver on that, because those are also related to our belief. Just to digress a little bit from my discussion with a few seniors in Islamic finance. Initially, the Takaful Act 1984 says the Religious Supervisory Council. It's not called Shariah. What's the reason? If we can think. Shariah Supervisory Council and Religious Supervisory Council. Shariah is more, what do you call this? The space is smaller. It's more specific, narrower. The religious
is wider.
So that's the wisdom of. I don't think the who drafted the Takaful Act, Tan Sri Ahmad Ibrahim, don't understand Sharia. But he put there religious supervisory. I was thinking. I spoke to a few of my colleagues. Why did he put religious? Why don't he put Sharia? Don't tell me that Ahmad Ibrahim Tan Sri Allah Yarham doesn't know Sharia. So Sharia is just legalistic. Religious is deen, isn't it? Religious,
I see. That's very good analysis.
Something that we have to think about it. Okay, so it's religious.
It's wider.
It's wider. Religious council. Bukan majlis syariah. I don't know what in Malay.
Yeah.
But so looks at it bigger. So number two is the culture. Okay, first is we must strictly adhere, follow Sharia. Okay, we must be the Sharia culture must be there. Okay, and number two, it must mirror the service that we do. Must mirror the Sharia culture. It should not be parts. There are some, from my observations, some of our workers, from our colleagues, they are religious people. For Muslims, okay, religious people. But then this is not reflected in their work ethics in the contribution to their work. That's not reflected.
So they make sure they pray on time.
They very very religious. What do you call this? Outlook attributes.
Yeah.
But then it comes to the
work ethics.
Work ethics is
it does not match.
It doesn't match. Okay. I was told by my teachers, they say Islam, they say is in the middle religion. Middle religion doesn't mean that we are not neither here nor there.
Yeah.
The middle religion means means that we are at the best. The best. He said that what is the best? What is the for us? What is the temperature that keeps us alive at a certain percent? How many percent? What's the degree? That's what it means. If you go down, you become sick. If you go higher, you become sick. So that's the middle is the perfect temperature for our body. That how many that degree centigrade or Fahrenheit or whatever.
That's nice.
Just nice.
Like Goldilocks.
Yes. If you go down, you become sick. You go up, you become sick. So we straight for that nice. Not doesn't mean that middle, neither here nor there.
Yeah.
So that's the concept of the Islam is the concept of the middle. We are the middle.
The middle.
The wasatan, the middle there. Okay, so and then number three, basically we need to have the board, for example. The board must be really
the board
of directors must really appreciate. Even the shareholders must really appreciate this business. I've been to some number of boards. Okay, okay. They must understand that Takaful is a different business. Insurance is a different business. It's not a normal retail trading business.
Yeah.
Okay, we have to build this one, and then we have to be resilient. That's why we need actuaries. That's why we need all those things to.
I think if I can just bring it back to this issue about shareholders, because I think, like it or not, share Takaful companies are actually driven by shareholders.
Yes.
Right.
We are commercial. We are commercial, yeah.
Commercial, tijari, if you like.
Yeah.
It's a commercial kind of environment that they actually come into, and being, business driven, there's always this drive for profit.
Yes.
Which is halal. This is nothing wrong with that,
Yes.
But what you're trying to say as well is that, Takaful is not a get rich quick kind of operation.
Yes.
Especially, family Takaful is a long term kind of commitment.
Yes.
Before you actually derive a sort of profit from it. So is that what you find? Is that some shareholders basically are expecting
pushing for profits? I told them Scottish widows started in the 1800s.
Yeah.
But they started in 1800s to be where they are now.
I think Scottish widows are mutual at the beginning. So, but the problem is that, ideally, Takaful should be a mutual.
Yes.
Whereby you don't have this shareholders looking for profits, immediate profits. Ideally, it should be a mutual, but it's very difficult to set up mutuals in this current environment, regulatory environment.
Sure.
But yeah, I mean, I think it's a fair comment to say that, when you go and invest in a Takaful operation, it's not a get rich quick kind of operation. And also you have to also take into account the fact that I think, if I can sort of give my opinion, that effectively is also a service into the ummah, to those people who subscribe to the concept of ethical insurance or Shariah approved insurance. So go on. I mean, what else do you think is important?
I think that's basically three things. And then maybe how we sell ourselves in to the public space, how we position ourselves, position ourselves in the public.
How should you position yourself?
Basically, it's back to basics. We have good products, priced reasonably, and then good service, basically. And then these people must also have this different skill set. What have been sold, I don't know whether this is my humble opinion. Have we really sold the concept of tabarruk fully to the market?
Yeah.
Have we really sold that concept of tabarruk fully to the market?
My thinking on that is probably not.
Yeah. Because I think I've read a few books on this gift economy.
Gift economy.
Gift economy. So Islam is also, I think, is close to this gift economy. GIFT, gift economy.
Can you explain what gift
economy means? We do some things that, not just for the sake of profit, but you make profit where everybody can benefit. I'll give an example of good gift economy. In Egypt, just digress a little bit. He was an engineer. He wanted to start a company to help people in Egypt. So he said what he did was he said, let's set up a company, let's have shareholders. But I want to reserve 30% of my shares, something like that. I want God to be that shareholder.
You want God to be that shareholder?
That 30% shareholding. Okay? So he set a company, 30%, the shareholder is God, Allah. So he works. So whatever profit, it goes, and then from that small company, they managed to in Egypt, they managed to set up a train service, the train track to the village so that people can go. So from the small, they can set up a school, they can set up madrasa, they can do wonders to the society.
Wow, I think that's wonderful.
They started, we say, okay, our first year, we put away 20% of our profit for charity. The second year, out of fifth, 7th year, 100% of our profit to the charity. Everybody, the community, benefits. So it's a big story lah. This gift economy.
What year was that? I mean,
a few years back.
When this
10 years back. This gift economy.
Okay.
This gift economy. Tabarruk economy lah. Tabarruk economy.
I think this concept of tabarruk needs to be dissected and actually explained. Maybe there's a book in this, especially how it applies to Takaful. Because the whole idea of tabarruk was actually to address the issue of what's there's no riba, no
gharar.
maisir.
Maisir. No gharar.
No gharar. So this is to address the issue of gharar. That you have this concept of tabarruk being introduced.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So there's more that needs to be done in terms of trying to explain how tabarruk works in Takaful.
Yeah.
Finally, I want to bring you back to your experience in Nigeria. You know, I mean, I find it fascinating that Takaful is positioned as ethical insurance rather than Shariah compliant insurance. I see that positioning as perhaps making Takaful more inclusive, as the word Shariah have been subjected to bad press in many countries where the population's understanding of Islam is limited.
Yeah.
So my question is, in your opinion, would it be better from a positioning perspective to describe an insurer as an ethical insurance company that is Sharia approved rather than a Takaful company which is Sharia compliant? I mean, what do you think about that? Because we have a company in Malaysia, by the way, called Etika.
Etika.
Which came out from Takaful National and Maybank Takaful. But we're talking about ethical insurance here.
Let's look at the market first.
Yeah.
The market. In Nigeria, we have to do it, like it or not, we have to do that way.
Yeah.
For us to survive in that market. Okay. Maybe some other countries, I don't know. Maybe in Maldives, 98% Muslims. You can sell. Maybe I don't know. Maybe you can sell yourself a Sharia compliant company. You can use all Arabic words. In Indonesia, still strong majority Muslim country. That is an attraction. You have attraction for that. You have people who subscribe to that fully. Sharia compliant is key. That you want to sell is the Sharia compliant must be there, must be in the front. But there are certain markets that it's not sustainable to use them. You have mixed population, or we have a very secular society. Secular society. They don't, even among Muslims, they don't care whether it's haram or halal.
There's Muslims who are secular.
Muslims who are secular, who say they don't say halal, haram. I don't care. The price is good. You give me good service. I will take your product. So depend on the. But internally we must be fully Sharia compliant. Internally we must adhere.
Yeah.
You must strictly adhere to Sharia. But externally,
I think it goes back, back to what you say about our Takaful Act, which is that religious supervisory council, not Sharia.
Not Sharia
supervisory council. So when you talk about religious, now you're talking about I guess ethical would not be a bad kind of sort of a description of that. Yeah.
Ethical has its limitations, isn't it? Ethical has limitations.
Maybe the word is like subjectivity. Maybe
subjectivity. Ethics in certain society means, what do you mean by ethics in society? Ethics
that is a very good point.
Yeah, in certain countries, gay marriage is ethical. Yeah, nothing to do. Okay?
Exactly.
It's ethical. As long as you don't go and rape people, for example. Sorry, my words. So it's adultery is not unethical.
In some countries.
So depend on the
country as well.
In the context.
Very, very good point. Ethical is man-made, as it were, whilst Sharia and from the Muslim's perspective, is made by God. It's divine.
Yeah, it's divine.
So there are pros and cons, if you like.
Yeah.
But I think maybe we can close on that. Say that as far as Takaful is concerned, we need to give a holistic kind of package, and that includes ensuring good service, good products, and I guess what else would you include in that? Giving you the last word.
Yeah, remember in most countries, we don't want to miss out the section of society who are not Muslims or who are secular. So how do you approach them? We don't want to leave them out. We want to give Takaful solutions to them also, but according to their what they call this, the understanding, according to the subjectivities. But our product is still an ethical product. It's a good product. Okay, it is a product that can serve them, that can provide solutions for them. But in subject to that sensitivity, subjectivities, it will be okay. We cannot, what happened in Asia, we cannot deny 50% of our customers who are non-Muslims.
Malaysia.
in Malaysia, our
In
penetration
Nigeria.
in Malaysia we have the penetration rate for takaful is Muslims, even though we are 60% Muslim, 70% Muslim, but insurance penetration among Muslim is still very low. So we have to push up. We cannot just rely on the Muslim what they call population to support us. We have to go to the non-Muslim population support us, especially for commercial business, for example. That's the place that we have to.
Thank you, Wan. Inshallah, the advice that you've been able to impart based on the experience Takaful would be very much of use to our viewers. Thank you very much again, Wan.
Thank you
for coming and sort of sharing your experience and knowledge with us here. Thank you again, viewers, for actually joining us in this podcast.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.